Okay, welcome to the District 5440 District Grants Training. This is training for the new grants process that we're going to start implementing coming up very soon. So let's see. Somehow I have to go over here. My name is Jim Epstein. I'm the District 5440 Grants Chairman from the Rotary Club of Fort Collins. With us today, we also have Nancy Pettis from Jackson Hole Breakfast, Tom Dunn from Greeley Centennial, Krishna Murthy from Fort Collins Breakfast, Joe Schoen from Scottsbluff Gehring, Ron Hogan from Loveland, and Ron Hamill from Cheyenne. So thank you all for joining us here. So who is this training for? This training is for any Rotarian who wants to apply for a district grant from District 5440. So this is the process we'll be using. So starting in 2016-17 Rotary year, all district grant applications and reports will be submitted online using matchinggrants.org website. There is no more planning forms, and the first step that you will do is actually to submit an application on the matchinggrants.org website. But before you start an application, you need to go to the district website, and the link is up there on the slide. And first, check what dates are required for submitting the applications. I didn't put the dates in this presentation because they could change. Also, check for the maximum grant amount that's allowed, because that's also going to change from year to year. You make sure your club is qualified, review the district grant terms and conditions, and review the Rotary Foundation terms and conditions, all of which will be on the website on the grants page that's listed up there. Does anybody have any questions about that so far? Okay. So we're going to go through.
Is there a time factor? Is it in April, May? People go and do this, or like we did last year, or like?
Well, it may change from year to year. I didn't want to necessarily put it in this presentation, but in the 16-17 year, it'll be June 15th for the first set of applications, and then December 1st for the second set of applications. So now we'll go on to the grant process itself. I'm going to go to the website and show how to submit an application, how to sign an application, how to make changes before your application is approved, and how to make changes after you're approved, and then how to submit a report. So to do that, I'm going to exit from this and go to the matchinggrants.org website. This is the matchinggrants.org website at www.matchinggrants.org. And this is what you see when you first come in. It has global grants, district grants, and it also has the older style legacy matching grants. We won't use that one at all. We won't talk about global grants this time because that'll be another presentation. So what we're going to talk about this time is the district grants. So if you click on district grants, you'll see every district grant there is in this system from any district. Once you get an account and you click on My Accounts, you'll only see the projects that you have listed, and that's an easy way to get to your projects. And you can always go back to the main list if you want to see other projects as well. So first thing we're going to do is you would come in to this website, and if you want to submit a project, you go up here to the menu item and click on Submit a Project. It gives you a little bit of introductory information. It gives you the link to the Rotary Foundation terms and conditions, which is also on the district website. And it's probably good to read that before you even come to this website. And once you've read everything that you need to read to prepare, then you can click on Submit a New Project. When you do that, you'll get the form that allows you to start entering the information. So I guess we'll just call this a youth project. And another important thing here is the year. You can select it for different Rotary years. And this is probably important to remember, because if you're starting this in June, you'll be in the 15-16 year, but you really want to submit your project for the 16-17 year. So make sure you remember, that if you're entering a project in June, you're going to be for the next year. If you're entering your project in December, you'll already be in the correct year. But it's important to have that on there the right year. Then the country, that's pretty obvious. Location, we'll just say Colorado. Then you come down to the areas of focus. And since this is a district grant, it may not fall exactly under one of these categories. So you don't have to select one of these categories. However, under activity type, you do have to select one of these because it has to be in one of these areas. It has to be a humanitarian project and fall under one of these areas. So pick the one that fits the best to your project. And this is a youth project. I think maybe the closest thing to that would be education. Then under project summary, you just click, you just type a very short one sentence description of the project. So for this case, we're going to build docks at the Colorado Youth Outdoors. This is a project of one of the projects of our club. And then down here under project description is when you can do a much more detailed description. I won't type a whole description in there. The project contact person, that will be you, whoever is entering this. And one interesting thing is that you don't really have to join the website separately from this. I mean, this is joining the website. When you fill out this part right here, you will then automatically get an account. And the next time you come in, it'll already be filled in. See, mine was already filled in because I already have an account. So it's really important to get your district number and your club, the correct name of your club in there. I think it gives you only the choices of clubs. I think it already has the names of the clubs in the district in there, so you just have to select your club. Next is the project budget. Now here you need to look, again, before you start entering your project, you need to look at the limits for that year, because they will change from year to year depending on how much money we have in the district for grants. That's a total budget of $5,000, and let's say we're going to put in, a total budget of $10,000 and a project budget or club contribution rather of $5,000. Now remember, the district will only match the club contribution, so make sure you don't have the ask the district for more money than your club is contributing. That's pretty straightforward, I think. The payment information. This is actually very important because since this is all happening automatically or at least online, whatever information you add in here is where the money is going to be sent. So you want to make sure you put in the right information, especially, and we'll only be made out, we're only going to send checks to Rotary clubs. So you have to put the name of a Rotary club here. We won't send checks to anybody else. And then this is the address of your Rotary club. I don't think I'll need to put that in there. And then finally, you need to check this box that says that you certify that your project is in alignment with the mission of the Rotary Foundation, which is to enable Rotarians around the world understanding goodwill, peace, and through the improvement of health and the support of education and alleviation of poverty. So you need to check that box to say that essentially you're doing a humanitarian project is what it says. So once you check that, I don't know if I need to put anything in here. I'll put just something in here just in case. I don't know if it'll reject it. If I don't, but I'm put something in there just in case. That's correct. Incorrect. Okay, there we go. And then you just go back and review everything, make sure you have everything correct. And once you hit save, you've essentially entered your project in here. And this is what you'll see. Now your project will not appear on the main list until it's published. And publishing the project, it has to be done by a system administrator. So you won't see this publish button here or this drop button when you do this. But I do have it because I'm a system administrator. So I'm going to publish the project. And once I do that, if you go to the main list, now this is project 1098, project should appear there. I don't see it yet. Maybe it just takes a while to get there. But if you go to your account, you will see the project now listed there. And I'll take you to the next step when we click on that. So any questions so far?
I have one question. You said that information with your name and contact information automatically came in because you already had an account.
Right.
So my question is this website recognizing your computer? Is that how it knows that it's you? Or it says here that you're logged in as you, but did we not see a login sheet? Or if you go to my account, then you log in?
No, you don't have to log in. My accounts apparently, and I don't know exactly how it does it, but it must recognize your computer, or else it will ask you to enter your name in. Well, I'm sorry. There is an account number that you get, but and a password for logging in, and that's probably something you get the first time. You set up your account.
So if you log in on another computer, then you may have to put in that information.
Right.
Okay. That was my only question.
Okay. Anybody else have a question?
So Jim, this one is only like a project description and project name and the dollar amount. So it is not really, we are not submitting any, the budget items, different way of how we are spending the money and everything else. It's just for initial approval, right?
Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, so you do have to submit a budget, and I'm going to go into how to do that right now.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's a good question. It's a good lead-in question because so you've just entered in the basic project information now. So now I'm clicking on that project, and it doesn't force you to enter in a budget on the website because not every district requires a budget, but our district does require a budget. So what you'd have to do to upload your budget, first of all, the budget, there's no set form for the budget, so you can use any form that you want. It's just basically a list of items that you want to fund with this grant and how much they cost. You need to put a separate item for each quantity, or for anything that's over $500 has to be a separate item. And that is actually in the terms and conditions that you read before you started this process. So let me go through this a second here, and we'll get to the documents. That's where you upload your budget. So once you submitted that project and it gets published by the site administrator, which usually happens within a day, then this is what actually anybody can see now. This information that I'm going to show you right now, this project description, contact person, and project status is available to anyone. Don't have to be a Rotarian either. Anybody goes to that website can see that. Financing, they can see that as well. Any documents you've entered, photos, and a history log, which talks about how the project is progressing. And then this little button here kind of puts it all on one page. So this is what somebody sees once you've entered your project. Now, since you are the contact person, this administration button actually shows for anybody, but if you're the contact person, when you click it, it gets you to where you can edit the project. Anybody else who does that will say not authorized if you're not the person who has administrative. Actually, you can give other people administrative capabilities, but typically you wouldn't necessarily have to do that. So now the next step in this is to put in the project budget. And the way that's done is you click on Documents, and you need to upload a file. Now, I actually already did a budget. So when I say choose a file, I'm going to choose this project budget. It has to be in PDF format, by the way. So you click on that.
You can't order like an Excel spreadsheet or anything like that. It has to be PDF.
Yeah, it has to be PDF. You can do an Excel spreadsheet, but you have to convert it to PDF before you upload it.
Okay. All right.
So you select your file, and then you type a name for the file. So we'll just call it project budget. Now here's an interesting thing down here. You can restrict access to any file you put up there in case it's some sensitive information that you don't want. Because like I said, everybody in the world can read your documents unless you just say it's restricted. So once you say, if you say it's restricted, then only people that you've authorized on this site, in your project rather, only people you've authorized will be able to see it. So I'm going to just click upload, and we'll see what happens here. Hopefully, documents uploaded. I want to show you the document that we uploaded, the project budget. But first, I'd like to explain something about the financing. Let's go to financing here, and you'll see that this project is fully funded. We have $10,000 total, $5,000 from the club, and $5,000 from the district. But let's say we have another situation here where some of the money is going to be contributed by sources outside of the club. Let's delete the contributions. And let's say we want to add some contributions by the club and some contributions that will be coming outside the club. So first we'll start with recording a new contribution. And let's say we're going to contribute $2,500 from the club. And that will be matched by DDF from the district. And we'll save that in there. And you'll see that now it shows the contribution from the club as 2,500, DDF as 2,500, and a total of 5,000 contributed so far. Now we have $5,000 that has not been allocated yet. And let's say we have an outside contributor who's going to contribute that money. In this system, the only way to enter funds is it has to come through a club. So you would have to say that that money came from your club or whatever club was going to manage that funds. So I'm going to say the other 5,000 is coming from our club. But now, even though it says it's coming from our club, we know that it's coming from an outside source, so it will not be matched by DDF. So you don't put any DDF in there. And when you save that, you'll see that you come up with two contributions from your club, one that is cash from your club, that's 2,500, which will be matched by DDF. And the second thing would be the $5,000 that came from outside of your club, which is not matched by DDF. This is all a little bit not clear because it says that it's coming from your club, even though it's coming from the outside, but that's an idiosyncrasy of this system that lets you go ahead and put in the money under your club. And the reason for that is because your club is going to be managing that funds, even though it does come from outside. So now let's go to the documents. We'll go back to the project. We'll go to the documents here, and we'll click on this project budget, and that will bring up the budget. This is what the budget looks like. This is pretty detailed. I think really all you need is the description, the cost, and then the cost subtotals, and then the total for the cost. But anyway, that is a requirement and must be done for the project. Anything else?
Does it have to be a fairly detailed project budget?
Well, detailed enough to show that you've done your homework and really understand the cost of the project. So for example, we're saying that items that cost over $500 should have a separate item number. If you're having something over $1,000, you should really get a quote on it, but you don't really have to enter the quote, but it would be recommended that you do get a quote. So any other questions on this part so far? Okay, so right now what you've done is you have entered your project information, and the next step is to start the signature process. Before you actually start the signature process, if you haven't done this before, I would suggest going to the help key here. And you can see under the help key that there's all these different items. How does it work? Frequently asked questions, quick tips, and signature process. And so I'd recommend going to the signature process and looking at that because it does give you some details on how the signature process works. But I'm not going to click on it right now because it's a big document, and I'm really going to go over basically everything we're going to do. So I'm going to go back to our project here. And so when you go back to the project, you'll see the general view, and then and actually when you want to start working on the project, you have to click administration again. So here we are. And if you want to start the signature process, if you feel like you have everything in, and you can add more documents. I don't see the documents in here, but and you can also add photos if you like. So once you get everything ready and you have it all set to go, and you want to make sure you have everything in there, because once you start the signature process, you can't change anything. So I'm going to start the signature process just to show you how that's going to work, and so show you how people would sign your project. So you click Start Signature Process, and what you'll see is a list. Well, first you see supporting documents, and you can enter all kinds of documents in there. But when you go to the signature process, so there could be a list of other documents you've added, and it does show that our project budget is uploaded. But you want to send the project budget around with the signature. So if you don't click here, it won't send that document with the signature process. But you do want to have, people who sign it need to see your budget. So you have to click here. And that means that whoever you've clicked down here will get a copy of your budget along with the signature. And I'll show you what happens when you get the signature. Now, for the signature, you need to have yourself, the main project contact, and you get to decide least on this document, who has to sign. The club president may or may not be already automatically listed depending on whether the administration has entered the project, the club presidents before you start your application. But if the club president is not listed, you need to add the club president. And also you need to add your grants committee chair. So then one question is, how do you do that? And the answer to that is you need to go to what's called, you go back to the main, you go back to your My Accounts, and you go to your project, and you go to History Logs. Now it sounds a little bit convoluted, but it really is okay. But History Logs is where you add people to your project, and then you have to click Administration again. And if you go down here, you'll see Add People to your distribution list. So I'm going to add, Mary Smith, and you give Mary an email. Put Mary's email address in here. Now, you don't have to give. Now, let's say Mary Smith is the grants chair for your district, or I mean for your club rather. So you're adding people from your club now on here, not from the district. I just want to make that clear. So, and people that are listed on here will get email when anything happens to this project. They'll get an email on it. Any change to the project. So anybody, so you can put people on here. Anybody you want to know about your project and get an email update, you can put their name on here. Now, I would not suggest that you give everybody administrative access because then it can change your project. But you do have to at least have your president and your district, your club grants chair on here. So when I click Add, so now Mary Smith's been added. When I go back to my project and I start the signature process again, you'll see Mary Smith is now added. So I'm not going to check. You would have to check yourself, the club president, and your club district grants, or your club grants chair. So they all get this. And you also have to click the project budget again. So now I'm not going to click them just because I want to show you how to sign this. And if I click everybody will have to sign it, and I'll just do one. It's a lot faster. So any questions so far?
I have one question. Is this where the clubs are going to add the name of their grants committee contact person?
You mean on the district grants?
Yes, on district grants. So that person, is a grants committee person going to review this like we've done in the past?
The way it works is they don't have to add that. That's automatic. That's added by the site administrator or the maybe district administrator, which happens to be me. So the people who get to review all grants are entered at the site or the district administration level.
At the district level. Okay. So as a club member doing a district grant application, I just put club people on there.
Right, just club people, because the district people are added separately, differently.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So remember now, once we send this out, you can't make any changes, but I'll show you how you can make changes, but you can't make changes without doing some special things, which I'll talk about in a minute. So I'm going to so now when I click this, everybody on this list that's checked will get an email, and I'll show you how that works. So I clicked it, and it gives you the status of the signatories. So you can tell if how long you've been waiting for them to sign it, and you can tell who hasn't signed it yet and who has signed it, which is kind of handy. If you find somebody that's taken a while, you can actually resend them the email, the signature email. Now mine says sign because that's me. You won't see that. Well, you will see it if it's you, but you won't see it under the other people. So here's what happens. So I just got an email that says that, well, first of all, I've gotten two emails, it looks like. One of them that says, the first one is that I submitted a grant because I'm the person that submitted the grant. The second one says that it was published, and I should be getting a third one, which I haven't got yet, apparently, because I was a signee on this. And I won't be able to show you how to do that right now because I don't see the email in there. It takes a while sometimes for these people to get the emails, but it's pretty quick. I mean, it's not days, it's usually minutes. Let me just refresh this in case. Oh, here it is. I do have it. Okay, so here's, since I'm, and since you're, whoever submits this is the primary contact, you'll get this email. The project was sent to you for review and a digital signature process, and you'll see that the project budget is here. You also get the terms and conditions for Rotary grants in our district. So those are the two. You get this one automatically, and you get this one because you clicked project budget. So the person anybody who's clicked for signatures will get this email. And it says review the matching grants, tells you where to go to see it. And once you've reviewed it, you have to go back and enter this key. This is what anybody who signs, or you put down for signing, will get. So they get this email, and they'll get a project key. In this case, it's 9387. So then they go back to the project, and now for me to sign this, I click sign, and it asks me to enter that key. So it's 9387. So I click that, and then I say sign.
You have to put the accept and.
Oh yeah, accept. Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. Thank you. Yeah, you have to click there to say I accept the terms and conditions, and then if you want to review the terms and conditions, you can click here, and then you click sign. It's a good thing you're watching out for me here. So the signature was recorded. So if you go back to your project again, to get back to your project, you go to My Accounts, click on the project, and let's go to Administration, and you'll see it says Jim Epstein signed it on 9th of November. So this project is now signed. Now, you can't go back and edit your project. Let's say I wanted to go back and change the financing or something. I don't have any way of doing it. I can't. It won't let me. It won't let me do it. So what do you do? Because actually, of course, it does happen that you may have to change something after it's signed. Well, what happens is you have to cancel the signature process by clicking here. Then you're allowed to edit your project, but then you have to start the whole signature process again. So it does allow you to make changes, but you have to go through the entire signature process again. Any questions on that? Okay. So now the project, if you go to the project description, let's go back to the project here. Project description gives you the status. It says it's signed. So it means the project is now signed and it's been sent to the district grants committee for approval. So I'm not going to go through the approval process because that's more something that the district grants committee does. What I am going to do is I'm going to go to another project that's already been approved, and I'll show you what it looks like, because if I go through that, I'll have to do a lot of administrative steps that you won't have to do anyway if you're entering a project. Here's the project that I previously entered. Now I'd like to show you how to make a change after the project has been submitted. You'll notice down at the bottom that the project status is paid. This occurs when the treasurer pays the money to the address that sends a check to the address that you entered when you submitted the project. So if you want to make a change after the project has been approved and paid, you click on Administration and you click on Edit the Project. You'll notice here in the red that only certain items can be edited. One of those items that can be edited is this one down here that says Addendum to Project Description. So whatever you enter in here, so I'll just type that again, make a change. Whatever you enter in here will show up underneath the project description after you click the Save button. So I'll click the Save button, and if we go back to the project, you'll see that their addendum to the project description has been made, and it indicates that it happened after the project was signed. And then, of course, there'll be a better description in here than make a change. So then this also sends a message to the Grants Committee indicating that the change has been made. And the Grants Committee will notify you that the change has been approved in the history log entry. So don't make the change until after the change has officially been approved by the Grants Committee and will be indicated in the history log entries. It doesn't show up now because the change has not been approved yet. Now I'd like to show you how to upload a progress or a final report. Click on Administration, go back to Descriptions, and you'll see under the project contact area, it says click here to download a blank report form. You must use the blank report form that's provided. This is not an optional form. It's a required form for reporting. Now I've already done that. I've already clicked on the this area here, downloaded the form, and filled it out. So now what I need to do is upload that document. So I would go here to Documents. I would type in a final report for the name, and then I would choose a file. Since I've already done the project report, it's right here. I'm going to click on Grant Report, and by the way, these must be in PDF format. And then you click on Upload. It indicates that the document has been uploaded. So now the next thing that's going to happen is that you'll have to go back over to the Administration. I'm sorry, we're into this administration. You have to go back to Description, under Administration, and click on Reported. You click on Reported, this indicates to the Grants Committee that your project has submitted a final report. And once your project is completed and the report has been accepted, the project status again will change to completed down here. A progress report is due by June 1st of the following year after the project is approved, if it is not yet completed. A progress report is uploaded exactly the same way as a final report, except that the report is named Progress Report instead. Final reports are due 30 days after the project is completed, or by June 1st of the second year after the grant was approved, whichever comes first. Well, that's all there is to it. I'm sure you will find it easy to use once you have tried it. Be sure to ask your District 5440 Grants Committee representative